Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to draw a ninja. What I have here that you can see on the screen is basically an understructure of the ninja, and it's made up of many thin lines. We have the joints represented by the circles here. Right, you have the shoulder, you have the elbow, the hand. This just helps me to get an understanding of the pose that I want my character to be in. And I also draw these guidelines. You'll see when I draw these guidelines in to show the tilt of the head. That helps assist me in drawing the tilt of the head, and also assists me with the placement of the eyes. So that's why these lines are very helpful to me. Next, you'll notice that I have this circle. This represents the hand. This hand is coming very closer to you than it is to the ninja himself at this time. It's called foreshortening. Now, things that are closer to you are larger, and things that are farther away from you appear smaller. I wanted you to understand the whole concept why I draw the way I do with lines and circles. All right? Let's get started with our ninja today. Let's go ahead and draw in the head shape. So I'm going to lightly draw in the head shape. And like always, I'll draw light and then I will darken my lines that I've drawn. Next, bring in the guidelines. Right, the head's going to be tilted to our right, the ninja's left. And his eyes will be curved slightly downward. All right, the placement of the eyes will be slightly downward. Now let's go ahead and bring in the body shape. The body shape is at a tilt as well, so we're going to go ahead and bring in the body. So what this allows me to do, placing these shapes, it allows me to create boundaries where my elements will be located. Over here, right, we have the shoulder area. I'm going to lightly draw in that circle for the shoulder. I'm going to go ahead and draw in the arm where the bicep and tricep will be located. Then we'll have the elbow and then the forearm. And finally we'll draw the hand. Right, hands are just circular shapes with fingers. Right in front of him, his hand is coming out at you, so we're going to go ahead and draw a large circle here to represent the hand. We're going to have an indication of the forearm, his right forearm and elbow sticking out, and we will show a little bit of the arm from the elbow to the shoulder. Let's go ahead and give this ninja a really neat stance. We're going to go ahead and draw in the leg, then the kneecap, the other part of the leg where the calf muscle would be, the ankle, and then the foot, and then this leg. Same thing, we need to have the leg in there with the kneecap, where the calf area would be, and then the ankle, and then the foot. Alright, so bring that up just a little bit so you can see that. So if you can do these shapes, now this is the drawing we did together, this is the one I did previously. Pretty similar, aren't they? I can maneuver this for you so you can see both of them on the screen. Now this is the fun part, because we're gonna now that we have everything placed where we would like it, we get to bring in those awesome details to make our ninja to look really cool. All right, let's go ahead. I want to bring in the eyes. So along this guideline where we place the eyes, we're going to bring in two circles very lightly, because these circles will change in shape. This ninja has goggles over his eyes. And then inside those circles, we're going to bring in smaller circles. we have the rim of the goggles over his eyes. Right there, see? We made the inner circle and then the outer circle. And then we're going to connect these two shapes. Inside, we're going to create a little illusion of depth. So we're going to bring in a little curve shape right here to give the inner edge of this circle. And same thing over here. And we're going to make a little circle in the middle. That way we have another circle to make a little reflection. To make reflections inside the goggles. And shade that in with your pencil. Awesome. Let's go ahead and draw in the top part of the hood that the ninja's wearing. So we're going to go ahead and draw a curved line. Now it doesn't go through the goggles, it goes behind it, so we won't see the continuation of this line. Curve it over here. And we're going to extend it beyond the head a little bit. And draw in the top part of the hood section where it folds a little bit above the eyes. And then we're going to shape the top part of the head. And then we're going to bring in some wrinkles right here. Here's a wrinkle. Here's a wrinkle. And then the back, the hood is going to be pulled back into a knot. Then we're going to bring in some of the fancy strips of cloth to give it motion, give this hood like it's in motion, give it some action. Just allow your pencil to move along the paper. Don't be too perfect with it. Just let your pencil just do its thing. Sometimes the pencil will do its own thing if you allow it to. Now inside here, I'm going to go ahead and erase this line right here. I don't want that line there anymore. See that? I know I'm using a pink eraser today, aren't I? And let's go ahead and draw the part of the ninja mask that goes over top of his nose and mouth. Alright, so we draw this line. We don't draw the line through the goggles. It comes around this side. And then we're going to bring it down through like this. I'm going to bring in a few wrinkles. And then along the side of his head, we're going to bring in some of the cloth that comes down slightly. We're bringing a few lines here. And let's go ahead and shade in this part of the ninja's face. Create a shadow. His whole face is covered up. So the cloth is creating a shadow that you don't really see the rest or parts of his face here. I'm going to go ahead and darken these lines up so you can see this much better. Yeah, he's looking pretty awesome, I think. Let's go with his left arm. Alright, so we have the shoulder area. We have to bring in the cloth, or the muscle actually, I should say the muscle and the cloth, so there's a thickness beyond the stick figure that we drew. Right, you have the armpit section here, and then you have the elbow. So what we're doing now is creating the thickness to his, or the mass I should say, we're creating the mass to his arm. Right, then his thumb will bend because the ninja will be holding a throwing star. And then we're going to stick out a little finger here, and then this one here is going to bend, this one's going to bend, and this one's going to bend. Alright. And we'll put in the throwing star. And we'll make a little circle. You know, when I was your age, when I was younger, probably the age of 10, I used to have a throwing star. I don't know where I found it or where I got it, but I used to throw it around in the yard, and one day I threw it at a tree and I lost it. I could not find it. Made me sad. I really like that throwing star. Alright. I have a little bit of a line right there I want to erase. I want the throwing star to be in front of that finger to look like he's actually holding this throwing star. Let's work on his hand over here. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and draw in a few oval shapes. So I have an oval shape here. This is the tip of the thumb and the part of the thumb behind the thumb. Alright, and then his fingers. So right here is, I know there's a lot of lines here that I'm drawing, but this part here is where your fingers attach to your palm. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in a finger here. I'm going to bend it, just an oval shape. Erase this line here so you can see it better. And then we're going to go and draw, and sometimes what helps me is if I draw a straight, like a line, and then I have the knuckle, and another knuckle, right? Just draw a single line, bring in some wrinkles behind the fingers, and then you put mass to your fingers. That always helps me out a lot. And we're going to go ahead and draw another finger. These fingers do seem like they're complicated, but the more that you practice, the more you'll understand how fingers work. And sometimes just looking at your own hand and trying to draw your own hand is a lot of fun to practice, and you'll get better as you keep practicing. Many artists that I've read about talk about how to just draw from everyday life all the time. And I've done a lot of that. And we're going to go ahead. Now, this finger, the first finger and the pinky finger, each are exposed. The other ones are covered with his ninja outfit. So keep that in mind when you color in your ninja. Alright. Clean this up just a little bit. And this line in here. Just like that. Then back here, we already have the elbow and the line for the forearm. We're going to go ahead and give it a little bit more mass and draw in this part of the forearm, so that way it looks like he has a forearm. Alright, now what we need to do is fix and add to this square, this rectangular shape that we made. We're going to give the chest a little bit more mass. Right, this would be where your rib cage is. This area here would be your solar plex. Right, so this is your chest area, this is your solar plex. And then of course you have your stomach area. And around the stomach area we're going to draw in indication of a belt. Something that holds his pants up and keeps his outfit tight fitting. Because as a ninja, you're jumping around all the time. You don't want your clothes in the way. And bring in some of these fancy lines to give it a design to the overall outfit. And let's give the leg some mass. Just curves it like this. And then right through here. I'm going to erase this line so it doesn't confuse you. Alright, the knee bends. We're going to go ahead and bring in some knee pads. We'll indicate those knee pads with lines. Then the calf has a circular shape to it. It tapers down into the ankle. And we'll go ahead and draw in the toes right there, or we'll just show a little bit of the toe. And then the foot, the arch of the foot, and then the heel. We'll get to the other section here. We'll curve a line around this area, and then give the other legs mass. And then we have the knee pad, right? Bring in some lines to give indication where the knee pads would be. There would be a lot of wrinkles around the knee pad. And we'll give the indication of the calf area. And then the foot. Now his toes will be split because he has a ninja outfit on. It's not that he has two toes, but a ninja uses all of his body that he has. Right? Every ninja uses the whole body. All right. You never know what parts of your body you have to use as a ninja. And ninjas have to be prepared for that all the time. So there we are. We have our ninja. And let's go ahead and bring in a shadow underneath his foot there. And shade this part of the ninja. The shadow underneath the ninja's foot. And also over here. Now this shadow will slightly curve behind his foot. And then we'll go ahead and shade in a little bit here, a little bit lighter lines through here, because less of a shadow. Even though this ninja is casting a shadow, the shadow will be up here to be lighter because he's further away from the ground where the shadow would be. Now what I'm doing is just darkening my lines, erasing the lines I don't want and keeping the lines I do want. Your job as an artist is always to communicate the image that you want people to see. If you have too many lines that really you don't want and lines that you do want, and it's not simplified, it gets confusing to people when they look at your drawings. So that's why I go back through and erase the lines I don't want, and I keep the lines I do want. And I would say there is your ninja. Outstanding job. Till next time, keep drawing and stay being great.